Hey, how's it going?
Hey, it's going well. How are you?
Awesome to have you guys here. I'm doing great. We had the most people register for this webinar than we ever have before. So,
Really?
Wow.
Oh shit. Excuse me. That's
Yay.
dope.
yeah, I think there's 1,100 people I saw just a few hours before we hopped on.
Wow. Well, I'm really happy about that.
I don't know if that's a DealMachine thing or a Moss Home Solutions thing, but I'll take credit.
Yeah, we'll take the credit.
Yeah, you should. I think a lot of people want to hear what you have to say for sure. Well, we gave you everybody just like a little bit of background, but the format I'd love to use tonight is the same that we do every week, 10, 15-minute intro, and then 45 minutes of questions. And it's going to go by fast. People are just going to ask in the actual chat here. And then my team will help actually get people on here and join the video chat. So if you're asking a question, we'll end up bringing you guys on, and then they'll get to interact with us, and it's going to be fun. You guys ready?
Yeah, let's do it. This is cool.
Awesome. So could you guys give a bit of a background that you did on our initial success call, just for everyone who may not have seen that video?
Yeah, so just like the quick how we met, how we got into it.
Yes, and also talk about, you were looking, for your rental portfolio. You can go back that far and talk about, okay, now you started wholesaling to generate cash for that.
Okay. All right, cool. You want to do the quick thing?
Yeah, so I'll be really quick with how we actually met and how our story started. So I was an elementary school teacher and I was working abroad in Kuwait in the Middle East. I left there straight out of college. CJ was a basketball coach and he got scouted to work in an academy out in Kuwait. We didn't know each other before this. We met on Tinder and, we fell in love and, long story short, we ended up moving back to America. I ended up moving back with CJ.
Yeah, so we met in Kuwait in 16. We were there together for like a year and a half, moved back out here 17. That whole time we're saving money. It's tax-free over there, and they pay for everything. They give you a car, they pay for your apartment. Literally, I have no expenses. So we just saved. Came over here in September 2017. I started buying multifamilies with my partner who I played college basketball with. So we're still partners in the multifamily, and kind of Beth and I are one unity or one entity in that multifamily investing. So we essentially bought multifamilies, managed them ourselves from mid 2017 to 2019, 2020. And we acquired 18 units, but at that point we ran out of capital. We pretty much got broke.
Very broke.
Right.
Yeah, we were like, how do we get some cash? Like, how do we start generating cash to buy more multifamilies? And we discovered wholesaling. Well, CJ discovered it first. We did the Wholesaling Inc. course, which we highly recommend. Who's the host at that one, is it?
Yeah, so there's Tom Kroll, Cody Hoffine, Grant.
Cardone.
No, not Grant Cardone. He's a beast too. But basically, I took this wholesaling Inc. course, which I definitely recommend. Those guys are rock stars, and they love DealMachine. Like, they hype DealMachine so much.
Yeah,
and it's
they
just,
do.
I took the course. Really started January 2019 wholesaling, so only like a year and a half ago.
Sorry, someone just asked. It's called Wholesaling Inc., guys, the course, Wholesaling Inc., okay?
Yeah. And it's a big commitment. It's a big financial commitment. It's going to cost you about like $8,000 if you really pay for the course, do all the marketing you're supposed to be doing. Brent Daniels, yeah, there it is. But we got started in 2019 and took off, and our business like exploded, and it's just been a dream. It's changed our lives. It really has.
Yeah, we started really wholesaling at the beginning of 2019. And just to give you a little bit of an idea, guys, we downloaded DealMachine in April of 2019, and we only got our first deal in July of 2019. So we really pushed through for 3 to 4 months with absolutely no leads, no deals, just angry people calling us up saying, what the heck, like, stop sending me postcards. It was really hard to eat. We really found it disheartening, but we kept going because if you're not persistent, what's the point in doing all of this? Like, it's not an overnight miracle. You really need to put in the work and you will get results, but it doesn't happen overnight. So yeah, we started with DealMachine. We got our first DealMachine deal in July 2019, and it turned into 3 deals. It was a real good deal. So yeah, that's the background for us too.
So when you said you were buying multifamily, is this like 400 unit apartment or is this a duplex?
I wish it was a 400 unit. So we have 18 units over 6 properties, so we're averaging 3 per property, some 2s, some 3s. But through DealMachine, maybe I'll get into this later, but we actually do have a 9 unit that we're buying. We're closing on in August, and a 5 unit we're closing on in August as well. Those are both DealMachine, drive for dollars.
Yeah.
Love it. And I loved what you said, Beth, when you were like, if you're not going to be able to be consistent with this, what's the point? And that was part of the theme in the webinar invite that we sent everyone was, you guys had planned this out in advance. You didn't start marketing to a DealMachine house unless you had planned out, how many times you were going to contact them. Could you tell us a little bit about like how you guys were able to do that?
Yeah, so I'll be honest, like our marketing actually isn't really like that. We have the fail forward approach. We're hoping to get more detailed, but what we do is, we get 700 drive for dollars or new addresses every single week. All right. Generally it's 500 from her. She's an absolute monster. She's the queen of DealMachine. I'll get 200 a week. And we market to that list that week or the following week. And then we kind of have a backlog of another 1,600 older DealMachine leads that we'll also market to that week. So call it, 2,300 really drive for dollars per week.
But just to like go back a little bit, because I know there's a few like beginners on the chat. When we started DealMachine, we weren't sending the quantity that we were sending out now. We're at a level where we're generating money enough to increase our marketing budget. When we first started, we were sending 2,000 mailers a month. And we, that was really our max because we didn't have much money to do much else. We export from DealMachine, so we take the list and we use a different mailing company. But we used to send about 2,000. Now, a year later, we send about 8,000 a month.
Well, so we used to send 2,000, like Beth just said, but that might have been a quarter of drive for dollars. We're talking absentee owner ox. Wholesaling Inc. has various lists. You have your code violation, tax delinquent, which we all still do.
Yeah.
But instead of, previously, I guess, sending 500.
Yeah, probably about 500 a month at the beginning. And then, now it's probably about 2,500 a month just from DealMachine.
It's more than that. It's a lot more than that.
Okay, sorry.
How do you guys split up your roles? Right, because she's adding more DealMachine properties than you are. Is there time that you spend doing something else that she's not?
I'm a bum. She carries the whole team.
No, it's not true. It's not true. CJ manages all the marketing. He's our marketing guy. Once we get a deal, CJ basically is like the stay-at-home mom for the deal. He'll like really make the connections with the attorneys. He'll deal with the buyers, the sellers, the problem solving, all of the little intricate things within once you've signed a contract CJ deals with. I'm really like the deal finder. So I do the cold calling. I do like most of the drive for dollars. And I kind of make the relationships with like the majority of the sellers to begin with.
Yeah, that's really the great job, babe. She definitely gets most of the drive for dollars. She takes a lot of the calls. She does almost all the cold calling. I'm really like, I had more experience in multifamily. So when we have absentee owners who want to hear a voice that knows the common multifamily language, boom, I get on the phone with a contractor or whatever. He'll talk to me and feel comfortable. But like right now we have like 11 deals under contract we got to close. It's kind of my role to baby those things all the way to the closing table. I'm the problem solver. I'm the conflict resolution guy. Sellers, it's going to be all right. We're going to close these deals. I speak with the attorneys, etc.
Yeah, he's got really a very, very, very powerful role in our business.
Gotcha. And when you were first starting out, how many properties were you adding a week? Did you set a goal right away?
At the very beginning, David, we were adding.
It was about 200.
It was about 200 a week, and now we're at 700.
Yeah, goals, at least I find my brain works with goals. If I set goals, I will hit those goals. If you kind of just like go willy-nilly, at least personally for us, you don't hit those targets.
No, you don't keep track either.
Yes, and the very number one reason why somebody wouldn't find success with DealMachine is because they only put in 25 properties or they only put in 30 properties, which isn't enough. And so I wanted to make sure that anyone on the call knew we have a budget planner. It's a spreadsheet that you guys can utilize to plug in like, hey, I want to get, 5 deals a year. This is how many properties you should be putting in every week. And so look out for that in the chat. At least we'll drop that in there.
David, do you want us to be answering the questions as they wrote, or do you want us to wait until like a fire round or whatever?
Yeah, I'm going to actually have Hannah bring on some of the question askers so we can have a conversation.
Okay, great.
And they'll join the video.
We just actually got a deal through DealMachine. It was like after we spoke to you, David, it was our biggest deal. Since we've had the whole, DealMachine app and everything, it's been our biggest deal ever.
Wow. How much was it?
We got a $70,000 assignment fee.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really, really good.
That is fantastic. 70,000, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. It was like the week after we spoke to you, 2 weeks afterwards, we had our first like proper big one.
Okay. Well, I've asked Hannah to go ahead and bring some people on. It looks like the first couple would be Pawatar or Marcus. And then we'll just keep working down the line.
Okay. Hi. Beth and Moss. So I just bought a DealMachine like a month ago, and I started driving, but I sent out a campaign, but I need to set it up properly. But when you started, how much budget were you putting in? Like I don't have that big budget right now. I'm just starting out. I took Tom Crowe's course, so I put a lot of money in that. So what was your budget when you started?
So we spent $2,000 a month, every month, for the first really like 6 months or so. And that was everything. So our postcards that we send cost us 38 cents a month, but we're also,
30 cents a postcard.
Sorry, 30 cents per postcard. But also we have, CRMs, and we subscribe to DealMachine. We have other expenses, but it was $2,000 total.
Yeah, 2,000 included Call Rail, which tracks all your calls, Podio, which tracks all your leads. 2,000 was the entire budget for DealMachine alone, and what we sent out in terms of just marketing. It was probably around 1,000, but we didn't track it when we first started out, unfortunately.
Got it. I have one more question before I let somebody ask. So I called the title company, and they are not wholesale friendly. And
Really?
Yes, they said, we don't deal with this kind of stuff here. So what would you say, how would you handle that if they're not wholesale friendly assignment?
Yep. So what area are you in? What area of the country are you in?
I am in California, Central Valley by Sacramento.
Okay, so I imagine there must be some local RIAs, right? Are there?
Yes, I've been to Sacramento, but I haven't talked to that area title companies. I've been talking to the title companies in my area. So
you know what you should do, I think, is actually we don't know because it's California, but it might be worth just posting on the DealMachine group, because I know there's a lot of investors in California that use DealMachine, and asking them which title company they use, because I'm absolutely 100% sure there is a lot of title companies that will be wholesaler friendly, especially in California. So I would write on the group, in the Facebook group, and reach out and see if you can get somebody who is using a title company out there.
Got it. Okay, I will do that. I need to join Facebook.
Yeah. And to piggyback on that, that's where I was going with the local RIA. If you can go to one, and it'll force you to network. It'll force you to get out there and say, hey, who are the wholesalers? Go right to those wholesalers. What title company are you using? What attorney are you using? Who's wholesale friendly? You'll figure it out, that meeting.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're
No
welcome.
problem. Good luck.
Yeah, I was going to say another quick thing I figured out in town was just going to a meetup that's hosted by like one of the big wholesalers in town, and the tile company is usually there. You know, a lot of times they'll sponsor those events, or you just ask where they do their deals. But love the mention of the Facebook group. And it looks like we've got Marcus with us. He's just getting his video set up. How we doing, Marcus?
Marcus. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Awesome.
So, oh, well, go ahead. Go ahead, Dave.
I was just welcoming you, man. Good to have you here.
Oh, I appreciate it. So I was interested. I'm getting out in real estate and getting some groundwork on. I said I got to come up with me a system, and so I'm also involved in connecting investors. But then I ran across DealMachine, and I was like, this is ridiculous, awesome right here. So I told my wife how it works and everything. But my question would be, when you want to add properties to your list, is it something that you may take, let's just say a list of 100 and then you download them and then you can add them to your DealMachine account? Or how do you have to manually do one by one? Or is it when you drive and you hit start driving and then it picks up where you're at in the local area, then you actually can have the choice when you hit the 3 bars to hit current location. When you want to add a property, basically is that how you add it is when the area pops up, you can just click on the property itself that you see that's abandoned when you ride past that.
If you're on the street and there's houses around you and you see a distressed property and you click on that property, you can add it from just being on that street. But if you know addresses, maybe you buy like an abandoned property list, you know, or something like that, you can type the address into the top where, you know, it says like map. You can type the address into the top bar and you can manually add any address, even if you're not on that street, and it will all store in your DealMachine app. So yeah, I mean, David's going to show you now on the screen. You can just type any address and you can add it manually.
So is it a way that you can add multiple addresses manually? I mean, not manually, but at one time, or you're just going to click on each property in that area? So
Yeah.
basically, it's going to take time before you can actually pick the house that's, oh, he hit pin mode, he hit tap to mode. Okay, tap to add mode. Okay.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
But
So basically, when you're driving around this area, when you hit tap to mode, it acts automatically then.
Yeah.
it does.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Marcus, it sounds like you're just getting into this.
I am, bro, but guess what? I had to keep my feet in ice water because I had to calm down. That's how excited I am, bro.
Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this, but
I
I'm
definitely
learning a lot.
appreciate the
But
question. What else can we answer? Do you have any other questions?
I guess no, not at this time.
Yeah, you've got the right idea. DealMachine is a platform for building your own marketing list. There's lots of tools out there where you can buy a list, you know, online. The advantage of DealMachine is you can't buy a list that's actually distressed. You can't buy that list. And so that's why this list is more valuable, and it's worth spending the time to go look for the houses that have something wrong with them.
That's correct. And I'm going to continue to use DealMachine. And you will be getting a posting because I got a goal set to put my first house under contract by September.
Good goal.
Good for you. We'll hold you to it, Marcus. I'm going to find you, hold you to it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good too. And guess what? I really would like to start out in doing the wholesaling. So I might look into doing the wholesaling ink as well, attached along with DealMachine.
So let's work backwards, Marcus, before we let you go. If your goal is to get a house by September, what are you going to do in June, July, and August in order to make that happen?
Well, right now, I've actually already found a property on DealMachine, and I already had set up to where I went and looked at the property and I put a bid in, and my purchase agreement is getting rolled up right now.
Okay.
in order to make an offer for the actual property.
Okay. That's awesome. Beth and CJ, how many offers do you guys write in order to get one accepted?
We really do 5 offers to get one accepted of like screaming deals.
They have to be like phenomenal deals, like very either distressed or there's got to be motivation there. Like if the seller does not have any reason to sell other than getting the highest price, it's a waste of your time. You really need to dig and dig when you speak to these sellers and find out what is their pain point, what is their motivation to want to sell. If you hear, my house is about to go into foreclosure, I've lost my job, I'm going through divorce, my dad just died and he, owns the property, anything like that that's immediately like a green light of this is a great deal, go to the appointment. But if there's no motivation there, it's normally not a deal.
Yeah. So
Okay, I appreciate that.
So if you're assuming 5 offers to get one deal, that means you should be making an offer on a different property every 2 weeks minimum, but they've got it dialed in. So I would even say 1 offer every week should be a great goal if you want to end by September. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
And then one more thing, how many properties would you guys put in a DealMachine, would you say, in order to find one that you'd want to write an offer on, or find one where the seller is really motivated?
It's honestly, I want to say 1,000.
Someone tell you the number?
Yeah, CJ knows the numbers better.
Yeah, so just for us, it's going to take about 2,400 actual addresses into DealMachine in order to put in 5 really strong offers. I'm talking sellers that are like, we're very distressed, but we received 3 cards, right? So maybe we don't get it because another guy came in slightly higher. So 2,400, 5 like really great offers, 1 deal.
Okay, and it's worth it. It's worth it.
Yeah, it's a numbers game.
Yeah.
Like, you've got to remember it's a numbers game, and the chasing after one owner, one distressed property is never going to lead to a deal. You need to add a lot of distressed properties and then consistently mail to them, and then you will, land yourself a great deal.
Okay, I really appreciate those pointers.
Marcus, you're the man.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
Good luck, Marcus.
Yeah, good luck.
Thank you. And
So when Marcus,
congratulations on your achievements.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
when Marcus gets his first deal, then what we're going to do is we're going to send him some DealMachine swag. We're going to do a call. We're going to get on YouTube and talk about the deal. So I look forward to seeing you and talking to you again soon, Marcus. And then reach out in the chat if you've got any questions. And it looks like next up we've got Donna. And then Ernest says he needs some swag as well. I guess Ernest has been closing some deals. And Elise also says, if you guys are new to DealMachine, we'll be doing a demo of the software at the end. Let's see. I'm asking Donna to start the video. Hannah, could you just bring on the next person too, in case Donna's not able to connect? I love it.
It's good energy. A lot of people here with a lot of questions. It's nice.
Glad to hear it, Ernest. Keep grinding, man. It's going to work out.
All right, we've got Nick as well on deck.
Hey, Nick.
Hey, Nick, you're muted.
Hi, gang.
Hey.
Hey, Nick.
Hi, Nick.
How are you?
Good.
Good to see you all. Good to see you. I'm going to hold this up here. I'm actually not in my office. I'm at church, but I'm happy to be talking with you guys.
Yes.
Go
ahead.
I actually have a question going forward. My numbers have been incredible with DealMachine. I mean, off the charts. We've put in 1,000 properties. We've closed and moved 3 already.
Wow.
Working on 2 right now. It's been 6 months. I mean, we're blessed and highly favored, so it just works that way for us. So that's all good.
Beautiful.
One question my business partner asked me the other day, and I went and looked, and I couldn't find it. So maybe David, this is a suggestion for you. But is there a way, looking into the future, based on what we have, to be able to see what we're going to be spending on cards in the future?
Yeah, actually, we're planning on putting in a calendar feature that would show you like, oh, a certain number of postcards are going to be sent out on this day.
Okay.
And then let me share my screen real quick. Congrats on the 3 deals.
Thank you.
You guys are having a successful first 6 months.
Yeah, it's been killer.
What market are you in?
In Minneapolis, outside of Minneapolis. I actually kind of play out in the sticks. Hi, Elise. So I'm not in a real competitive market, which is why I think we're doing so well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting ready. I really have had a devil of a time hiring drivers. But now that we've got some money in the coffers, we were just talking about actually, getting out there and paying for some ads on Indeed and, making it a little more professional, and just because we were, of course, just offering commission only, kind of spots, and it's not quite the same. So I literally am. I did a phone interview with a guy today. I'm going to meet him in person tomorrow, and hopefully we'll get him started. But I'd love to have a little army of them if I could.
Absolutely. Here's a way to get a rough estimate right now off the bat. You select.
Okay.
I chose like the with marketing status.
Yes.
This account currently doesn't have any leads with marketing, but let's say this is my demo account. So then once you've got the filter applied, it says filter applied right here, and then you can click the select all right here, and then let's see. Now it'll say like select all 5,859. So if you're using like a 3 or 4 week mailing cadence, then you can apply the 49-cent postcard times 5,000, and that would be your price. So that's how you could calculate that roughly.
Sure.
In your account.
Okay, that makes sense. That was helpful. I appreciate that.
Of course.
And any secrets, gang, on how to find drivers?
We're the drivers. I'll leave this one to David.
Yeah. So it sounds like you're doing. Do you know what type of payment structure? What have you been doing, hourly?
Well, I haven't been. I've been doing pretty much commission only, which has really been the issue. But now that we've got a couple deals under our belt, I just put out there that I would pay hourly with a small bonus if we were able to get a deal off of something that they drove by and photographed.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let me walk you through my process real quick. Let me fire this back up. So I would go on Indeed, and I've got a sample job posting actually available. If you go to DealMachine.com/Indeed, I think. I hear your church music.
Yep.
No problem. So
yep.
Yeah, you can copy this job. It's publicly available at DealMachine.com/Indeed, and then this is for $15 an hour.
Yep.
And then as soon as, let's see here, one of my past jobs.
I have not used Indeed. I'm for hiring. What does it cost to put a job out on Indeed?
It's actually free, and then you can choose to sponsor it for like $5 a day or $10 a day. For this position in particular, I didn't pay any more than that, and I didn't have it up any more than a few days to get 20 plus applicants. And then what you want to do whenever you get those applicants is you want to see who's serious before you spend time interviewing them or reviewing their resume. So I've got a little template message. Let's see here. There you go. All right. So it says, hey, thanks for applying for this job. The next step of the process is a paid trial. So I would offer to say, I'll pay you 20. I did 50 before, but I would say 20 is good, low barrier. I'll pay you $20 if you pick up the DealMachine app and add 20 properties today. And then you provide them the link to your team page.
Right.
You're on the enterprise plan, right? I recognize you.
Yes. Yep.
You've got access to the recruitment page, right? So just send them there. And then only
link, yep.
people who have added 20 properties. And then now
Sure.
you've got your serious candidates that are interested in doing that.
Okay. Great.
And then the final step would be this driver contract.
Yep. I've used it. I've hired some. I just haven't had any luck with, people sticking on a commission only basis. So
Yeah. That's a common thing we hear from commission only. And
yes.
it's not impossible, but it just requires a different vibe, right? Like TJ Russo did a webinar with us, and he also did commission only. He had a whole Facebook group for his drivers, and his whole commitment to them was like, I'm going to help you walk through this deal whenever I get a lead from one driver. They were invested for the long term because they were learning.
Right. Okay.
Thanks for the
All
question.
right. I appreciate it. I appreciate your help. Those were good.
We should do a separate call as well. Sounds like you've had some early success.
Yes. Yeah. We love it. And I've had plenty of leads as well. I mean, that we didn't get, and of course, it was odd, David, you always say, put in 200 and and it was the craziest thing. And the day after I crossed 200, I got a call from a lady saying, take my name off your list. So
yeah,
that was a great call. My first call was the best call. One step closer to a deal, as we say.
Well, thank you so much, Nick. It was great hearing.
No, you're welcome. Yeah. Thank you guys.
You're welcome. It's always interesting. I know Beth and CJ, you said, you had like over 2,000 to get a deal, and your deal size is also really large too. And those seem correlated to me. If you're in a market where it's like higher prices, you can get the higher commissions. It's going to take a bit more marketing to get those, is what I've noticed. Would you guys agree with that?
Yeah, we live in a small place, realistically it's Rhode Island, so it's a small state, and there's quite a lot of investors. I know, we know at least 10 people who use DealMachine in our very small area, and it is small, so there is a lot of competition. We also get a lot of people saying to us, we've had several postcards from other people, or you're the fifth person to call me. What our biggest secret is to actually winning them over is, being so nice and building so much rapport. And if your offer isn't going to beat it, you have to be beating them with your personality and your charm. So we really go like game 7 when we go to showings. We're like, oh wow, like those flowers are beautiful. We try and build a common ground with everything.
Yeah, and even to like talk on that just for a quick sec, we just had one. So we just got a deal accepted yesterday. And the seller, we went in there, she was like right away, I got 5 other postcards, so we know there's a ton of competition. But she started talking about the nostalgia and the emotional tie she had to the property. It was nice, like colonial, could be restored, really nice, not just like your lipstick on a pig flip. So I was like, okay, let me just like, let me get on that a little bit. Oh my God, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I'm going to treat it so well. I'm going to restore it back to its original beauty. And she called me yesterday, and I could see it when I say those things, like her eye would twinkle. All right, I like that. And
just background, sorry. Her mum owned the house, and it was probate. So she really wanted somebody to take care of the house because it was her mum's house. They grew up in the house. Yeah. So that was the biggest thing. We knew that was what was her sweet spot. So we kind of related to her in that way. And she said that this other guy came through and he was just like a cheap car salesman, whipped through, gave his offer and left. We were there 45 minutes to an hour. So it just really goes to show that building that rapport is key. Yeah. It's not just about the offer.
And the guy offered more and we got it.
Yeah.
That's amazing. He offered more, but you got it.
Yeah, not a lot more. Like we're talking about a couple $100, but I'll take a deal. You know what I mean? I'll take it all day over 4.
Right. That's a really, really good lesson. Good job, guys. Thanks for sharing that too. All right, we've got somebody coming up next. I see Matt. Hello, Matt. I heard, somebody else talking about this very same thing, right? You can win a deal because you actually cared, compared to somebody else who may not just be focusing on the business aspect. And even if you're the first investor there, they don't really want to talk to 5 other investors to see who'll get them a better deal. They want a reason to do the deal right now.
Yeah.
Great point. Phenomenal point.
Looks like Thomas is joining. Thomas, can you start your video back up? I know it takes a while to get the video on and off, but I just like it so much better. I like seeing who's on the other end.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's so much better.
He's muted as well, so I'm not sure if he can speak.
There's a button on here that says ask to start video. I've asked.
Yeah, that's so true, Stephen. If you can show you care and, you build that relationship and that trust with the seller, you're kind of 85% there. The numbers are only the cherry on top, really. If you can prove to them that you're trustworthy and you know what you're doing, it's massive. It's so massive.
Hi, Thomas.
Hello.
It looks like you might be muted.
Can you hear me?
Can hear you.
Yes, we can.
I'm not really a big video person. I'm sorry.
Great teeth, man. You should be.
I know, right? Yeah, I had a DealMachine for 3 months, and I have yet to use it. I just drive around the neighborhood. It's kind of fun. There's a lot of houses that are absentee houses, foreclosure, and I have yet to take it seriously as, business. So my question is, my plan is to buy and hold. I don't want to be a wholesaler. I want to buy and hold. And do you have, so far, for the last 3 months, I have been saving money, just waiting for that time to come. Have you ever had that issue where you struggle to overcome that, jump where you okay, this is the time now, to contact homeowners? I just have that. I'm struggling with that.
Yeah, so you just got to do it.
Yeah.
We all go through it. Some people can take action easier than others. Just take the action. Just do it. You maybe, I don't know if it's a fear of rejection or whatever the case may be. The more you do it, the more comfortable you'll get, the better you'll get. I mean, I remember I was so nervous when I started. Beth was beyond nervous when she started. And now she's so confident on these phones. But it's through repetition, like everything else in this world that professionals get good at. Repetition, practice, just do it.
When I first started, I was making cold calls initially because, we were trying to get into cold calling. And I used to put CJ on the phone because I'm British, I'm from England. And I didn't know how to build rapport. I'd be so nervous, I'd be talking so fast. The sellers would not understand a word I was saying. So they get so frustrated with me because I was so nervous. I'd have to put CJ on the phone. It was so embarrassing, but I was still working through it and pushing through it. And now I'm so confident. They understand me perfectly. I lock deals up on the phone all the time. Our biggest deal was a cold call just now. It's just practice, and you'll never become confident enough if you don't start practicing. Even if you're just calling Craigslist ads, for sale by owner, just to get your confidence up. it's worth it because you need that practice. You'll never get going. It's never the right time. It's never the right time. You just have to get stuck in.
Okay. Appreciate you. I did, well, I actually lied. I did went to a person's house, actually knocked the door, and I spoke to a lady, older lady, which asked her, there's, this address, and I Google you, and your name came up. Are you willing to sell your house? And she was like, she told me, no, I'm not willing to sell that, but I have that house. She told me I'm not, she should, gave me address, was 2-in-1, two room, one bath, which I was not interested because the square feet, it wasn't big enough. What I was trying to do, I'm trying to like add value to the house. So I'm trying to do BRRRR method. So it didn't work. So I approached one individual where she was really nice. I knocked the door. Like he said, I was nervous, like, but I did, that's the only one I did. That was like maybe a month ago. Yeah. Sorry, can I ask another question?
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks. So, is DealMachine. So, like I said, I don't want to be a wholesaler. I want to buy, and I read multiple books so far. I read maybe like, when I say read, like I have an audio I listen to. Yeah. So I read maybe like close to 10 books so far in the last 3 months. And I came with this strategy where, the BRRRR method, and I'm looking to buy a house 3.2 with square feet, near or above 1,000. So, but I want to buy it and hold. I don't want to sell it. Do you think a DealMachine is a good app to use for that purpose?
Yeah, I think DealMachine is Beth and CJ, how would you guys describe DealMachine?
Well, David, why don't you rock with that one? Because maybe you could talk about like specifics and how you can look for properties.
Yeah, so I actually am building a rental portfolio myself.
Mm-hmm.
My goal is not to wholesale. I've got 9 properties now, closing on the 10th, and you just have to find a good deal. So whether you're going to wholesale or you're going to build your own portfolio or you're going to do the BRRRR method, which I do as well, you've got to get a screaming deal in order for it to work. And so the way to find the great deals is to find a house or an owner in distress, and they're going to trade they're going to give you a discount because you're going to solve their problem. You're going to provide speed and convenience to their situation. It's just like a pawn shop, but DealMachine is the tool that lets you do the marketing and actually identifying the houses that are distressed to send the marketing to.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, thank you. So far I feel great, and I know I had DealMachine for 3 months, and at first it was just fun. I was just driving around. I was like, man, this is fun. Like, I'm looking at houses, like how much they cost. I know more than a lot of people. And then I start thinking to myself, I gotta think like this is a business. And thank you for Moss gave me that advice. Now I'm more confident to make that step. And then I'm just gonna, and I've been saving a lot of money. So far I have $40,000 saved. Do you think $40,000 is good? And I don't have, it's paid car. I have paid car. I have an apartment that I'm staying, but I share with my roommate. So I pay like about $550 every month. So I'm in a really good financial situation. So I have like extra $40,000 saved. Do you think $40,000 is a really good place to start?
So just talking about buy and hold investing, honestly, I mean, it's definitely way better than like 0, 10, 20, 30, or you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But you could drop that into a property, poof, that's gone. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the properties out here, we're talking like a 3-bed, 2-bath, or whatever the case may be, $200,000, $300,000. If you're putting down hard money, or 25% on that property, you're putting down your full 40 G's, right?
Yeah.
So for the bank to actually finance you, do you have any reserves left after that, right?
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
You could do what I did, which is I just like bought my own house with 5% down. And then I lived in that for a year, rented out all the bedrooms in the meantime. And then I went and bought another house. And so you can put 5% down on that second house too, right? Because if it's primary residence, you can put down less percentage. And the original house is now a rental that I didn't have to put 25% in. So that might be an option depending on what your living situation is right now.
Yeah. Thanks, Dave. That's actually the plan. I'm single. Yeah.
Perfect time for that.
Yeah, that was actually the plan. Thanks. Appreciate you guys. I think I asked. Yeah. Thank you. More questions than I was supposed to. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Love it. I feel like this was a moment after 3 months of having DealMachine but not using it that we may have just gotten him unstuck.
Hopefully, yeah. I think that's it. Just so everyone knows why we're waiting, by the way we structure our marketing, guys, we send out mainly direct mail. Okay, that's our main marketing source. What we do, the cold calling side of our business, is the most distressed properties, like the vacant ones, the ones that are kind of falling down, the ones that look like you really, really need some help. They're the ones that I cold call. And my advice is to cold call them the exact same day that you add them, because they're fresh in your mind. So you know exactly, you could even describe the house to the owner, so they know that you're legit. If you tell them about the property I saw that there were some boards on the windows, I saw that there was, I saw these problems on the house, I wondered if you would consider an offer. I think that's the way to go, to make those cold calls on the same day that you add them, so they're fresh in your mind. And we try to cold call about 20 to 30 a day, so we're technically adding about 100 to 150 a week.
Right. Those are super targeted, but you could also do the method where you get this mojo dialer and you crank that thing and you call for 6 hours a day, and maybe it's not as distressed, but you're hitting the numbers and getting the same result or better result. There's definitely different options.
Yeah. Troy. Hey, Troy.
Hey, Troy.
Hi. Oh, doing well. I'm just starting out, like most people on here. And I wanted to ask you, are you staying confined to Rhode Island, or are you venturing out into other states? And if so, how are you managing that?
So we live like right on the we actually live in Massachusetts. We're on the Massachusetts border. So we basically hit like an hour radius in every single direction. We'll travel within an hour to do our drive for dollars. And because the Rhode Island border is like 15 minutes away, it just takes us into Rhode Island easy.
Yeah.
Were you in Haverhill?
No, we're in, I don't know if you
kidding.
know, like, oh, you know Haverhill though. You know Massachusetts?
Yeah, a little bit.
We're closer to like the Cape, somewhere like that. But yeah,
So-
we just do an hour.
So with the different real estate laws and regulations, how did you develop relationships within the other states, as far as also having your crew go in, your construction crew, finding sellers as well? As buyers as well as the sellers.
Yeah.
How'd you go about doing that?
So one of the main ways to find buyers for us has been going to the real estate investors group, finding your local real estate investors meetup group. In Rhode Island, it's like the third Thursday of every month, and there's one in Massachusetts, the South Coast, that we go to, quite regularly. And also, on top of that, honestly, we post our deals in the investors groups on Facebook. And we get a lot of love. Like, we've had so many new cash buyers from just posting the deal. So if you go in there and you're just looking for a list, most of the time they won't disclose their information. But if you have a really good deal and you're giving the information, you're asking for buyers, you're going to get a lot of attention and a lot of new buyers come your way. So that's the best way, I think. Meetups and then Facebook group.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And congratulations as well, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Troy.
Thanks, Troy.
Thank you.
Good question. So we're coming up on the top of the hour here, and I think we've got time for probably a couple more. And Hannah's getting them queued up, so I'll just wait and see who comes next. Looks like Jesus popped on.
Just answering a question while we're waiting. Yes, we do have a website, guys. We only introduced our website this year. You know, we still got deals without a website, but we had a really good deal. It was a probate deal. It came from, you know, probate. And the woman said when she went onto our website, because it was so professional and so well structured and we had great Google reviews, she was like, there was no doubt in my mind, whatever number you were going to give us, we were going to accept. She literally said that to us. So I think having your website on your postcards and having a great website is a very good kind of like, it's an addition, it's a cherry on top. You know?
This is Maria. She actually asked it.
Oh, hey, Maria.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. So, yeah, my audio wasn't working there for a while, but yeah, I was just, wondering how often people check those websites or if it's just fine to only have a phone and just be answering that.
I mean, we found success before the website, but we started this year, and I'd say with like 90% of our sellers now, they say, oh, well, we looked you up online. Looks like you guys know what you're doing. Looks like you know what you're talking about. That's why we decided to go with you.
One thing we do as well, Maria, which has really worked out is.
Do you guys use screening? Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, there's just a delay on the line. Sorry. I was just wondering if you use information about their house to get to you, like the things you might otherwise ask them on the phone, if you just go ahead and pre-screen them online.
So I don't do that online. I love to I need to talk to that person. I need to start building the rapport and building the connection. So I don't do that, but it's not to say that it's not going to work, because I'm sure there's tons of wholesalers who are actually way more efficient than we are. But yeah, we like to talk to them.
Yeah, we do. We try and get them on the phone straight away.
Okay. Yeah, I think I would prefer that as well, but I know there's some people that are just shy about getting on the phone, and thought that might help those people, you know.
And Maria, that's a really good point, because we'll have people who will just text us, and honestly, they refuse to call. They won't pick up. And sometimes those are the most distressed. We've gotten some phenomenal deals off of those type of people.
Yeah, you have to get them on the call eventually, but you can entertain a text conversation until they feel comfortable, and then you can jump on a call. But yeah, we've had some really great deals from text. They're normally the shyest people with the most distress, believe it or not.
Okay, that's good to know. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Nice to see you, Maria.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye. Looks like we got Ernest back here. Or actually, Ernest is on for the full time, but he's been in the chat pretty actively.
Do you know it?
Yeah.
Comes tomorrow.
Hold on.
Polo comes tomorrow.
Hold on.
Oh yeah, my fault.
This is Ernest. He's Kyle's guy.
Oh yeah. You guys want to know it, didn't they? We'll do the New Bedford one. No.
Hannah, and then Raymond Santos would like to jump in. Hi, Ernest.
What's going on, guys? How y'all doing?
Ernest, my man. Good to see you, bro.
I'm just sitting there trying to take it all in, honestly. Like CJ, everything that you talk to me about is what you guys are saying right now. And every time I hear your voice and hear what's going on, I get so much more motivated.
That's awesome, bro.
Right now, so we'll see what happens.
Are they going well?
They're going well. We'll see what happens. I mean, I'm waiting to hear back from Kyle. Put it like that.
Nice.
Stick with it, man. It's going to work out. I know you're going to do it.
I'm trying. Definitely.
Good for you.
Thank you. Appreciate y'all, though.
I got you, man. Hit me up whenever.
Always.
Good to see you, Ernest. What do you got going on? Are you doing wholesaling?
Wholesaling, yes.
Awesome.
I just started maybe about 3 months ago when COVID started, actually. And I figured that something needs to happen. So I did, and we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm excited about it. I jump right on, everything that CJ spoke about. I jump right on the CRM, DealMachine, and I've been going. And I've noticed that I got to be careful now because I've been doing a lot of riding and almost getting into accidents. Trying to look for homes and stuff like that. So I'm listening to the whole hiring, driving for dollars and things of that sort. But I'm not there right now. So I'm going to continue on with myself and just continue to be safe and careful.
Absolutely, be careful. Raymond, can you hear us?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes. Are you driving for dollars right now?
Yes, I am.
Oh, what a savage!
Wow. So, how you doing, guys? I'm starting off. I'm a newbie. Haven't yet bought my first property, but learning right now in the process of reading. I have a question. It's when you first start. It's everything that, like you guys mentioned. When you first get into something, you have that little of, you want to get your foot on the pedal, but there's something stopping you. Right now, I'm in New York. The market is really, really expensive out here, and I have some savings in which I can actually get into something. I wanna start as house hacking. I want to hear some recommendations from you guys. Should I start? Should I start with a conventional loan? Should I start small? Should I keep the most money I can until I can get to another property? What is your thoughts on that?
So, I think that probably me and David had pretty similar first experiences. At least it sounds like it. I house hacked a 2-family where I rented out, the other apartment. And that's a great way to get you started because although you're not buying like a 3-unit or 40-unit or whatever your ultimate goal is, you're learning immediately through experience. You're fixing things, you're managing people, you have tenants. So maybe David, what was your first experience like?
Yeah. The cash on cash return is through the roof. If you're only putting, 3.5% or 5% down, which is possible when it's your primary residence, or if it's like a duplex that you live in on one side and you can rent the other one. And that really worked well for me, especially if buy and hold is your strategy. Why not take advantage of that opportunity to use the low down payment options?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
that's thank you. Yeah, because I know an investor out here in New York, and that's one of the first things he told me. He said, "Try not to use your money." And that got to me. I was like, you know what? I shouldn't use my money. You don't want to use all your capital, but you don't want to have capital sitting either because it's not smart to just save money. One of the other questions is, since New York is a little out of range for me, I'm trying to jump into like a duplex or fourplex. Should I look somewhere out of state? How should I start? Because I just really want to start. I just really want to get into it. It's just, I don't know first what step to take.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I heard you say that New York may be out of range for you. Whenever I was starting, I was kind of like nervous of like, should I make this offer on this rental property? I don't know. I've never bought a property before. And I was just like, why don't I just buy my own property? And then, it was kind of like, oh shoot, like that clicked and, I can live here and rent it out. And so that was the way I eased into it and worked through that hesitation that I had about just jumping into it. But again, I heard you say that New York may be out of range, right? That's a totally different market than where I was living in Indianapolis. Are you saying that you'd want to move, or are you tied to New York and you just want to invest elsewhere?
So I do actually want to get out of New York. I do want to invest somewhere else. I was looking at PA, which is they have really great returns out there. The thing is, I don't know PA market, so I don't want to jump into a market I don't really know. I do know New York. So my other thing I was thinking was either if I don't have the money, how can I come out with these great deals and just bring it up to an investor's eye? And, we do fund it up, whatever.
It sounds like why you guys started wholesaling.
Why we started wholesaling?
Yeah, to generate cash to buy multis. So you could use wholesaling as like a springboard into your renting investment career. You could start just adding properties and marketing to these people and generate that cash by assigning the deal and wholesaling the deal. And then when you find an area or you find a property that you can buy with all that cash, then you're off. You've got what you wanted, but it sounds like you need to generate some more cash in order to buy in New York because it's so expensive. So you might want to start off wholesaling to generate some money until you can buy your own rental property.
Yeah, and to kind of jump on that, if you are interested in moving outside of the area, I'd say just do your due diligence, do your research, find a spot that you'd be comfortable living where you can still access your job. And if you're going to buy, and I think someone asked this, what would you do differently? If you're going to house hack, at least me personally, I'm house hacking a 4-unit. That's what I would have done differently. I would have bought a 4-family because you can get an FHA loan on a 4-family and you get as much income as possible, right? So that's definitely what I would have done differently. And at least where I'm from, you can continue to use that house hack, but you have to downgrade units. You can't do a 4 and a 4 and a 4 and a 4. So the bank will finance you if you do a 4, and then you move into a 3, and then you move into a 2. But they won't do that for us if we buy a 2, and then I try to house hack a 3 or a 4.
Thank you so much for that information. I did not know that. Yeah, I was actually looking into getting a 4-plex because of that reason, because my main focus is multifamily. But like I said, I want to get my feet wet first. I don't want to get too crazy, and then I really can't, I'm all over the place. I want to start small, just get in, just get a little bit of knowledge. I appreciate you guys. Really helpful today.
Thank you.
Good luck, Raymond. Get that 4, man.
I will.
Bye, Raymond. First of all, thank you guys so much for being here tonight. I know it's the end of the hour, but I wanted to see if you could answer this one more question from Chef.
Sure.
And before you go, he says, if you could go back when you started, what would you do different? And then 2, what is your why?
All right. So to go back differently, I think I kind of answered that a little bit. I would have gone bigger, faster. Definitely would have gone bigger, faster. I'm so happy I took massive action. That's another thing for everyone on here. You go take massive action to get your goals. Massive action, massive. Like, go out tomorrow. Set a goal right now. Your motivation's probably juicing right now. Set your goal for tomorrow and then go smash that goal tomorrow. So
for me, by the way, if I was to go back, I would stop doubting myself so much, because you can be your own worst enemy, and you probably are your own worst enemy. CJ's way more confident than I am. I didn't believe I could do it. I didn't believe I could get a deal through a cold call. I didn't believe Drive for Dollars would work. I doubted so much. And then we got our first deal. And then my level of doubt started to rise. And as we've progressed as a business, my level of doubt has just continued to drop. So now I'm so confident. This month so far in June, we've had we normally get 4 deals a month, but we had 6 deals last month. And this month, we've only had 1 so far. But for us, we, generally get a lot of deals at the end of the month. And I used to panic. I used to be like, oh my God, we're not getting deals this month. What are we doing differently? What are we doing wrong? Now I'm so much more relaxed. I trust the process. I'm like, okay, it's coming. I know it's coming. So my biggest takeaway is don't doubt yourself too much. Trust the process. If you're consistent and you go after what you want and you set goals and you follow those goals strictly, you will achieve what you want to achieve. Dream big, because you can really achieve a lot through wholesaling.
Yeah, and then to kind of transition to the why, our why, what we want to do in life is we want to live a life of complete financial freedom, and we don't want to be tied to a job. So ideally, you know, our first goal is want to move to Maui in 2023. We want to build a New England wholesaling franchise and then replicate that in Maui, and then own, you know, 15, 20 properties that we actually want to live in throughout the world.
Yeah, we kind of want to own Airbnbs all over the world. So that's our dream. We don't want to live anywhere. We don't want to have a mortgage. We just want to bounce around our Airbnb properties in different countries and kind of like have our businesses run for us. That's what we're, you know, aiming to do in the next kind of 10 years.
Yeah.
I want to stay at those Airbnbs, guys. I will be your guest.
You're welcome anytime, David. Free of charge, because you've really set us off.
I don't know about that. We'll see.
I'll pay full price. Not a problem. We love you guys.
Hey, we love you guys too.
Thank you for joining us tonight.
DealMachine, again, thank you. You've changed our lives. Like, you've changed our life. You've added so much money and value to our life. Thank you, man. I don't know what, like, we'd be doing it, but it'd be much harder. It'd be much harder without you.
It's given us the resource to do things so much better. And I guess, like, we wouldn't have been anywhere close to where we are without DealMachine. And I know we didn't get to everyone's questions, and I'm like, sorry about that. But if you follow us on Instagram and, you know, you get our numbers or our emails, we're happy to really answer questions. We love connecting with people, and we'll try and, you know, share our knowledge to anyone who wants to hear it.
Awesome. And what is your Instagram?
It's just, you know, Instagram.com/Moss Home Solutions.
Okay.
MSS Home Solutions.
I saw you dropped your email and your cell in the chat.
Throw it at me. Give it to me.
CJ loves
it. I'm savage. I'm
he
crazy.
Loves it.
Thank you guys so much. If you want to hang out, we'd love to have you, because we are going to do a software demo, but I know you guys just expected an hour, so not a problem at all to jump off as well. And this is when I ask Elise to jump on with me. So Elise, if you're still there.
Oh my gosh, you guys are literally just amazing. I'm over here messaging Hannah, and I'm just like, this couple is like the most amazing thing I've seen.
Thanks, Elise. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Oh, you guys are thank you so much for doing this. And I'm probably going to hit y'all up to come on a live sometime if you guys are getting.
We're totally down. We've got much more, like, you know, golden nuggets to give. So whenever you guys want us on, we'll happily jump on.
Oh my gosh. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right.
Oh, man.
All right,
You had a question on here already. Someone asked you a question.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Where is it? Oh, crap. David. Oh, no. Ernest said he's from Fort Wayne, which I was like, yes, because I'm from South Bend.
I know. I said I knew we had a connection. I could sense it. Also, Ernest needs some swag. He's gonna get his deal very soon.
Reach out to me through the chat. I just made sure I followed them on Instagram really quick.
That's right. You get free swag whenever you let us know about your deals that you've done.
Where was this? Gosh, they were just so inspirational.
Very inspirational.
Love it. Sorry guys, this is real life. Elise is in her t-shirt.
Let's go through the quick start steps to start with. Or do we still need to decompress that or unpack any of that?
No, I think this is great. We had a lot of welcome to everyone who's brand new to DealMachine. There are so many people on here that are brand spanking new. We are so happy to have you in the fam. And I think just going through a really good demo of where you guys should start out. And please feel free to ask questions. And if you guys, want us to show you anything that we may have missed, because my biggest concern is I never want to overwhelm anyone. So yeah, I think quick start steps would be great.
Awesome. So the number one thing that we put is to clarify why you're using DealMachine. And so we heard, I love that Chef asked that question of Beth and CJ. You know, their whys, they don't want to be financially independent on a job, and they want to live this life where they're traveling all the time, and they want to have 20 Airbnbs. A lot of times I hear a lot of people say they've spent all this time building this real estate business, but then they actually want to spend more time with their family, and they want to scale to get bigger, better, not necessarily bigger, and cause more stress. So they kind of want to hone in their business with these high ROI lead sources. So your business needs a lead source that's high ROI and can eventually run without you. That's why we have all the systems for hiring a driver. Then number 2 is to download the mobile app. I'm sure everyone has the mobile app. 3 is to add a few properties. So even though operators will hire drivers to this, it's really a good idea to start and master this yourself. So let's go ahead and add a few properties right now, and then we'll jump back to that. So the way to add a property is you just click on the black dot, and I just added it.
Now, David is on a tap to add mode, which he'll show you where you can find that.
Right here. You've got a couple different modes. This is the default pin mode. So you click on a pin, you get some info about the property, and then you can add the property just like that. And this works the same on your mobile app. You're going to be doing this on your mobile app probably because you're out actually driving for dollars. So it's very similar interface, but obviously it's going to fit on your mobile screen.
I personally tell people if you are setting out to drive for dollars, I would do tap to add, only because it's quicker and you can vet through those properties later. When you're going out, like, that's golden time to add properties. So I really love that David added that because it just makes it a lot quicker. Don't forget to take the picture too.
Yeah, so taking the picture is as easy as clicking this like little photo icon, and you can you can take a photo if you're on your smartphone. And we do have this additional product called Street Pick that'll just populate the Google image. And then from there, you can skip trace them. All right, this one didn't have any info. I'll show you on another property. And then you could also send mail to this owner. And this is what the mail is going to look like. You guys have a bunch of mail templates. You'll see default one. This is one I've been using for COVID, and I'll probably switch back to my regular mail here now soon. So you can just press start mailers to send that, to start that mail.
Yeah, I would say, I know a lot of you may have heard that, you know, some people are doing more virtual driving for dollars. That's when Street Pick is really going to come in to save you time, because it'll automatically fill those pictures in. So it's something to kind of be investing in.
So here's a skip trace result. We got a landline phone number, and we got an email.
Ooh, a Rolls Royce.
That's right. They make jet engines here in Indianapolis.
Yep, that means it's a good one. What question do you have about the filter?
Me?
Dawood asked. Blake says, I tried to try out DealMachine, but it required me putting in my card. I really didn't feel comfortable doing that until I tried it out for a few days. The support told me there wasn't a workaround that. I didn't know if y'all could help me out with that. Other companies have taken advantage of a card being on file before, so that's why I'm skeptical.
Sounds like you had a bad experience, Blake, and I totally understand that. Hopefully this software tutorial will help you, because we'll show you everything in DealMachine.
So the reason why we ask for your card, just so that you're aware, is that, like, if you do want to send mail or you want to skip trace, it's just so that you don't have to worry about entering it in later to do that. So we tried to make it as more of a convenience. I promise you, David, this company has great morals. Like, we're here to like help you out with anything. We wouldn't charge you if it wasn't. We're going to be upfront and transparent with you.
Yeah, we're very long-term focused, so we're not trying to scam anybody.
Yeah. Do you have to put your face? Oh, on the postcard? No, you don't. You can put your logo. And actually, like, I will say that people respond really well to a picture, especially one that's like semi-professionally done. Family pictures are really good. I know a couple of our enterprise members have gotten calls just because people are like, oh, I saw you're like a family man. That made me feel more comfortable to call you. Stephen asks, are we looking for houses that seem to be vacant or overgrown and neglected? What are we looking for? David, you can go ahead with that.
Yeah, I just was wondering if that was even on the quick start steps. I might want to add that. So to answer your question, you're looking for any property that shows any sign of distress. So if you're in a neighborhood with mansions, you want to pick the one that looks like it's got some peeling paint, or like the bushes are too tall because they haven't been trimmed in a year, and that would be weird for that neighborhood. But if you're in a neighborhood where every house has like a broken window, I mean, first of all, you probably add every house, or you're looking for like one with a hole in the roof, or like a tarp on the roof or something like that. You're just looking for signs of physical distress, and that's the thing and the only thing you're looking for when you're driving for dollars. Vacant, is another factor, but you're not just looking for vacant houses.
Sorry, guys. I'm just making sure. Daywad, I'm having Pam reach out to you. If your app is kicking you out for that, I want to make sure that gets resolved. So I'm actually going to message her right now to reach out to you.
Yes. And if you've shared your login with somebody, it'll kick you out if they log in, because you can only log in to one app with one login. So the next thing I wanted to show you guys is how to track your driver's routes. So you can pull open the map and click Start Driving, and this is useful for verifying the time that you're driving or your drivers are driving. If you're paying drivers, this will help you pay them accurately because it's tracking their time. And then also it'll prevent you from driving the same street twice, and you'll know when it's time to redrive those areas. So on my map, this account doesn't have any driving routes actually. Let me log into one of my other ones.
Daywad, Pam just said she's going to send you a message right now.
All right, so I've got this option here, show driving routes, and
reds.
Yeah, they're looking red because they're pretty old. This is an old account.
So what does that mean? We're driving through them again.
Yeah, so the old ones, 12 to 24 months old, they need to be redriven. We've got some yellow ones here too.
I'm just yellow ones.
All right, and then let's go back to the, the way you start that though is you're on the map, you're on your phone, and there's a start driving button, and that actually doesn't show up on the website. You would need to use your mobile version.
So just driving for dollars, guys, when you get in, David just clicked that top right arrow. Get in, go to the map settings, click the top right arrow, it locks into your position, and then press start driving. And that's the steps I would do when you're getting into your car. Like, just make that habit.
Yep. Cool. And if you use the filter, somebody said they use the filters to see properties that have sold over 10 years ago. So let's try that. Over 10 years ago. And now these are going to show green. And if you see purple, you just refresh the map and they'll turn green. There's not a reason for that being purple, but it does that on some devices.
All right. Chalmers says, use DealMachine recently. I noticed a lot of contact info when you skip traces out of date, email numbers, sometimes forwarding addresses. Question mark.
Why isn't the skip trace working for you? That seems weird. Shall we do some more skip traces? I'm not really sure when you've skip traced. We've actually changed the skip tracing recently as well and lowered the price.
Tracy, if I'm on a team, can I still skip trace and print postcards? If your team admin allows it, you would have to be a partner and they would have to turn that permission on. Choi Garcia says, do y'all have stats as to what works best as far as frequency on repeat mailers? Yes. Do you want to say it? You want me to say it?
Yeah, I was demonstrating the skip tracing.
Okay, it is at least 200 properties added and at least 3 postcards sent. Very minimum 3 postcards. I'll tell you guys, it's probably best to send 7 to 12, especially in more saturated markets, and that's all you're reaching out with. Go ahead.
Calmer, I hope I'm saying that right. He said, or she said, that they skip traced their own address and saw an old email address and an old phone number, but that's actually intentional. Yes, that's intentional because we want to provide you absolutely all information that we possibly can linked to that person. Because if the first number we give doesn't work, you want to have a second and third option to try. So you're definitely going to see emails that you created in middle school on there. Okay, that's how deep we're going. We want to give you all the information possible.
Should we make sure the homeowner has lived there for X amount of years so that they have some equity? Yeah, I would say yes.
Yeah, I always, so my recommended filter is to show properties that have not sold in the last 2-3 years.
Does the software help you pick a route through a track of homes so you can go down each street efficiently? Not yet.
Yeah, we're actually working on the route planner, so stay tuned.
Tracy, if I have badges and houses and I leave my group, can I keep my houses and badges? Oh, no. If you would have to start a whole new account over if you wanted to like go away from your team. You'd have to start a brand new account with that, unless you guys are merging or something. Oh, I just lost my place. Can I export my deals to Excel, my leads from DealMachine to Excel? You certainly can, John.
Here's how to do it.
Yeah, go ahead, show.
Okay, you go into the leads view and you click select all, and then you select all the leads. So now I have 756 selected. And then you go to more, and then you click export.
Perfect. Jeff. I'm glad that we got that question answered though, Jeff.
Right.
Wayne, the cost per postcard, it's 99 cents for basic, it's 69 cents for professional, and it's 49 cents for enterprise.
But in 2 weeks, we're actually lowering the prices all as low as possible.
Whoa, you heard it here, folks. You heard it here first, folks. David just dropped a big old bomb. Does the product...
Yeah, it does allow you to track mileage for tax purposes. The way that you would do that is go to the driving routes, and then you'd click this export button, and then you'll get an Excel sheet with your mileage. And you can see 0.45 miles, 3.22 miles, 7.18. And then,
go ahead.
Oh no, you're doing great.
No, there's a lot of route tracking questions. We don't help in putting out bandit signs and to route back later. You can suggest that in the request feature button. what return address should I use when sending postcards? I wouldn't feel comfortable. And I, Chandrea, I did not either. I opened a P.O. box for $30 for like 3 months. You can get USPS or UPS. Yeah, I didn't feel comfortable either. So I just opened up a P.O. box.
I have a video of that.
He does. We have it on our YouTube channel of David showing how to open a P.O. box. As I drove down a street, does it leave a trail so I can see it? Yes, Stephen, yes. It'll be green, and then like David showed those yellow and red lines, that's just how long it's been since you drove those routes.
I had a lot of fun making this video.
10 hours a day, a 10-hour days on the road. Holy crap. All right. So that means if you're doing a minimum of 15 an hour, should we hold you accountable, Wayne? I'm excited for that's a long time. Wayne's going to be putting in a lot. Oh, Hannah just dropped the P.O. Box video for you guys. And David did.
Thanks, Hannah.
Shall I wait to sign up in a week or so when you have new prices? LOL. You should start adding properties now. Get a list built up so that way when we drop the prices, you can have a big old list to send out to.
Mm-hmm.
How does the app work in rural areas? I've had trouble with other driving for dollars app in rural areas.
Works great. It should work very well in rural areas. We have some rural customers such as Nick, who's a enterprise member that came on the call earlier.
Yes, he is he's out there.
Oh, somebody asked how many hours a week should I drive for dollars? And I think we should get out the budget planner.
I agree, David. Great idea. And Hannah's going to drop that budget planner again. David, now people want to know what are the prices dropping to.
I'll get back with you guys. The sheet. Where is this?
Right there. You just had it. Budget for DealMachine. Yeah.
I don't know if this is it. This is it. All right. So let's say you've not done a wholesale deal before. Like a really good floor for a wholesale deal is $5,000. And let's say you want to get one deal per month. Like you're just starting out. It's good to start, slow. So average properties per deal, we're going to just say put in 300. Average qualified properties per hour of drive time. So that's like how many distressed properties can you find in 1 hour? And so for my drivers, I had them a goal of 12 to 15 per hour. So we'll put in 12. Oops. There was a problem. I can't edit that part.
You can only edit the yellow box.
The one you get from Hannah's link, you can edit. Okay. Now, it's going to say number of new qualified properties per month. You basically just edit these two yellow things. And then look at this breakdown in month 1. You need to add at least 300 properties in the first month. No, wait. How many do you need to add per month? 300.
100.
Yep. Number of hours driven, 20. So there's your answer. If you want to download this and play with the numbers, this will actually tell you that question, that answer.
So once I have a list for a bunch of distressed properties, what do I do next when I get home? Start reaching out. Keep getting a bunch of, so what I tell people is like set time aside each week, like on the same day that you can hold yourself accountable, and vet through those properties to make sure they match your criteria, and then start reaching out to them. Oh, David, can you show Thomas really quick? He wants to know if he can add a property to see the sale info, but like wants to make sure you can see the property info without adding it first. So that's actually in pin mode, Thomas. Bless you.
Thank you.
Where is it? On the app, though, I know you can click it and it'll show you that info before you add it.
Mm-hmm. It's showing it right now, at least. I'm not sure what
like when it was sold and stuff.
Like what?
Like when the sale date was and everything. You usually can see that before you add it.
Okay, maybe on the street it doesn't have that information.
So here, I just pressed on one and it'll tell me the total assessed value and also the equity percentage. And sometimes if it has it, it'll show the sale date before I even add it. So I didn't add this property yet. So see, David has the ones highlighted on the side that'll show before he even adds it. Brock wants to know, are you only filtering by sale date or are there other best practices you recommend?
I recommend the best practice of filtering by sold over 3 years ago and nothing else. But some people do like to get more intricate, and that's why we provide the filters there. But when you're driving for dollars, you're just looking for distress. And I know some people only target the absentee owners, but I've done a ton of owner-occupied deals, for example. And so that's why I don't filter by anything else except for just the ones that haven't sold recently.
No stupid questions. Is there nothing stupid here? Is there a way to find buyers off of DealMachine?
There's not a buyer feature, but if you see an LLC owned property, I actually send them a buyer postcard. And that looks like, I wonder if it's on this account or my other one. Cash buyer, there it is. Want to buy more properties like this? Email me and I'll send you my best deals in Indianapolis, worth 100K, selling for 50K. Email me and get my best deals. And I provide my email address as well. David James, yes, you can get a copy of that spreadsheet. If you scroll up, Hannah actually sent it out. It's dealmachine.com/offers/budget. We'll get it reposted again for you.
How effective have you found virtual driving for dollars versus actual driving for dollars?
It's you're going to have success with whatever you dedicate your time to. And if you're just starting out, I would recommend actually driving around because you're going to learn your neighborhoods a lot better.
Yes. I would say virtual driving for dollars is good if you're like, I mean, I'm not saying that you're making excuses, but say, give yourself a goal of adding properties every day, and say you sit down in bed and you're like, I only added 5 today. Make sure you hold yourself accountable and add something, because it's better than adding nothing. So virtual driving for dollars is that something that you keep adding. That's just, it's a numbers game, just like Beth and CJ were saying.
Mm-hmm.
Have you or can you put the county tax assessor's property records card as a filter?
The fact that they're saying property assessor's card is a little confusing to me. But you have the assessed value as a filter. I wonder if that's what they're asking.
Would you drive for dollars in a high crime area? Should I stay away from there?
I live in a high crime area. I think you need to drive for dollars where where people want to buy properties. So let's figure out where people want to buy properties. First of all, just ask. Just go to a meetup and ask. I know they're not having meetups right now because it's COVID, but
virtual meetups. So there's a lot of virtual meetups.
Yeah. You just ask somebody, where are people buying? Where are you wholesaling? Or you can do this thing, which I'm going to show you. Let's see here. All right, so you're going to create a list. Let's filter by the county. So who's asking that? Powhatan. What region, what county are you in? What city and state?
Stockton, California.
Okay, Stockton, California. Is Stockton the county?
Oh, San Joaquin. I don't know how I'm going to say this.
There we go.
Okay.
All right. Looks like a relatively small county, actually. Is there any surrounding counties you'd want to include? Sacramento. There we go. We got our numbers up. That's looking better. All right. Now, let's take a look at last market sale date. And let's do the last 12 months. And when you click this little radio button, it changes this date up here, and then you've got to add it. So now we've added it. So 30,000 of these have sold in the last 12 months. And now there's one more filter that we want to add. And that is equity percent. And you want to do 99 to 100. Now there's 2,700 properties. So let's go to the next step. Click on purchase list. You don't have to purchase it, but you do have to click that button. Let's see, partial list. Normally this would cost $531, but I know there's a way to preview some stuff, and that's what I'm looking for.
Mary, so some of the difference between mobile and desktop is that you can't export or upload through the app. You have to do that on the desktop version. I will say that desktop version is a lot more, I feel like, friendlier on a for admin work. So when you're doing like designing your postcards or approving leads, I would say it's just a little bit of a smoother process if you're on the desktop version. Mobile's really good for just like when you're out in the field and you're adding leads and things like that.
Mm-hmm. View sample records, maybe. They've changed this a little bit. Definitely was under partial list previously.
Yeah, Wayne said that too.
Group properties by area code. Export. There it is.
Woot.
Hang on, it makes me email it to myself. So do you guys see that? You go under partial lists, and then you go custom selection, group properties by area code. Okay, and now I will check my email. Be right there.
I'm so happy to have you all on here tonight. Wasn't that just so amazing? They were just so inspiring. They give me all the good juju.
Yeah.
Guys, also, just so you guys know, we have lives on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So please, you know, subscribe to the YouTube channel, put on notifications. That's where you can also ask any questions that may come up. I usually do a Q&A on Fridays. So please, I love having anybody a part of the group be on there.
It's not area code, it's zip code. My bad.
I always, for some reason.
And then here you can actually see the records. So let's see, the top zip code looks like I saw 146. So definitely hit up 6595630. That's the top one right there. And then number 2 would be 95624. And then 95242. So that's where the most cash transactions happened. And so that's where people are buying. You want to find properties where people are trying to buy.
2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the live for you guys that are asking. Oh, Hannah has she has the links right there. They're on Facebook, our Facebook group, Facebook page, and on our YouTube at the same time. So wherever. Oh, hey, can you show how to change an address in the signature? Amira would like to know how to change the address that she first signed up with so it can stop showing her.
Yeah, so on the left-hand side, you click the mailers, and then you click signatures, and you go ahead and pick the signature. You guys probably just have one signature. And then down here is the return address, and that's exactly where you would edit that, and that would show in your postcard.
Yeah, so basic and professional, you have one signature. Enterprise, you have multiple, usually because of different markets that you have. Oh, I'm so sorry if I say your name wrong. Chai. I'm really excited that you're part of the family. Welcome to the Deal Machine fam.
Yes, welcome.
We were having there was a conference this week, and to show clapping, it was this, since it was virtual. So here you go. We're clapping for you. We're so excited that you're here. And let us know if there's anything that you guys need. I'm so excited to see all of, you know what, signing up and doing these steps is the first step to gaining that financial freedom. So bravo to all of you for taking that step, because it's scary. But you guys are freaking fighters.
Let's talk about property tags. Look at this house with a tall grass and a stuffed mailbox. Yeah, we're taking questions, Ted. So we can tag this with a for sale by owner. We could tag it with in bad shape. Look at all these tags. If you guys are ever wondering what to look for, check out these tags. This will actually give you a guide for what you should be looking for.
And if you're looking to add drivers, make sure you pick like 1 or 2 main ones that you want them to make sure they're tagging things. Because then that way, you know, it helps you know what they're adding to, and it makes the vetting process through the leads quicker. Well, David? Oh.
Ted said he has a question, I feel like.
All right. While Ted is typing his question, can you show analytics really quick and show how you guys check to see how you're adding properties, like, and your snapshot at the bottom is really helpful. So you can customize this to like show you just in the week. You can, David clicked on year to date. Hold yourself accountable. Check how you're doing. What's your progress? Your ROI.
Chewy.
Did he just say it right?
Chewy. Yeah, I think I said it right.
Good job. And thank you for that. That was a very good way of explaining that. You guys get to see your ROI. So when you win a deal, click one deal in the status, and then that way you also get an email from David saying, yo, I want to talk to you. And then you get Deal Machine swag. Also shows you how many miles you drove, how much time it took you. Break down how many properties you're adding per hour. This is just a very helpful. Can you scroll all the way down to the snapshot? There. You guys can hold yourself accountable on like appointment set, offer sent, follow-up, offer accepted, marketing complete. That if they're completed, you better be doing something with them. Go over driving routes.
Yeah, so on the mobile app, or let's see if I can make this small.
Whoa.
Yeah, so you have a start driving button. And now it's gonna start counting the time driven and how many deals we've added on our drive.
In tap to add mode, can you enter a street and include a mile radius, and can you search by zip code? So there's the zip code. It'll just take you to there. I'm sorry, I'm reading too.
And I just searched by the street as well.
Powatar, it will save the route. To do live route tracking, that's an add-on, $20 extra a month. But your routes will be saved for you to view in your driving log. On Enterprise, it is included. All right.
So let's show them what the routes look like when they're done.
Woohoo!
Oh.
Oh. There we go. David, you went all over the place.
I did some door knocking here.
You can just drag the map with the hand majigger. If you just hold down and you move it, you can just scroll it that way. Nice job.
Thank you.
Hannah will get you set up for that. Oh,
I don't know. I loaded it and it worked. But I wonder if we can look Steven up and send it to him via email.
Yes.
Cool. Is it possible to export properties from numbers? What do you mean from numbers? Oh, you mean Numbers, the Mac application? That you can, so, okay, yeah. Yeah, so you can export and it'll give you a CSV, so you can open that up in Numbers. And then if you have a Numbers file, you'll want to export as CSV, and you could import that into DealMachine with the bulk upload list here in the settings. But yeah, if you're in numbers, you can export it as the CSV and you can open CSVs. That's the standard format that we use here. Elise, what closing advice would you like to give everyone on this fine Thursday night?
Just don't, I mean, I think Beth said it best. Beth said it best. Don't give up. Like, don't, you know, they talked about 3 months, they didn't get a single lead. And then they finally did. And it, guys, it's a domino effect. I know a guy who tried for 7 months, cold calling, sending marketing, didn't get anything signed. Month 7 hit. From then on, he had multiple deals a month going forward, and he's still going strong. So I know people who watch me on the lives, I know I get on my soapbox sometimes and like become a motivational speaker, but like seriously, guys, David and I have seen it. David is a pure, just like right there is our evidence of it working. He made it because he needed something like this, and it works. And we've seen people succeed, and it's changed lives. So like, please don't give up on yourselves. We're here rooting you on 125,000%. We believe in you, and we love being a part of your journey. So don't hesitate to reach out to us, and just please don't give up on yourself. Okay. I know that it's really hard when maybe other people are not like giving you the same cheerleading, but like, you got this, promise.
That's right. And I would also agree. Don't quit too soon. You know, don't quit after you've added 20 properties. Know that you need to add hundreds, and you can easily do that in a month as long as you plan it out in advance. And with that, guys, I wish you happy deal finding. Hope you have a great evening, and thank you for joining us tonight. And we'll see you. We're going to have another webinar available to sign up for very soon.
Bye, guys.